Uh, we are back. We are back again. Woo! And I'm going to say something very controversial this morning. Shout out to Mr. Z having a fire live stream earlier, talking about old Stefco getting over 1 million views with her pretty privilege. See, pretty privilege only affects the people who have nots. See, men actually learned that if I don't have something, I must make up something else in abundance. Oh, what's up, bro? What's up, Alongo? I'm gonna say probably one of my top five, top three most controversial subjects to date. My opinion on feminine leadership. What's up, Mac Bones? Got the patrol vibes, huh? You know how we do for years, rolling and patrolling. I'm gonna give you my strongest thoughts on feminine leadership. Don't worry, we're gonna touch on the black female leadership as well. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Please do, please do, please do. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Get the collection plates out. People get the collection plates out. Oh yeah. Every time I've witnessed excuse me, not even black, just female leadership, I saw the collapse of that organization go to hell. And quite frankly, it shows. It shows. There is no logic. There is nothing but feelings. And when you sit down and talk to female leaders, they usually don't have the most tact when speaking to their subordinates. Let's be very truthful about this subject matter. How many of your leaders in your communities are female and your communities are drug infested, rat infested, roach infested, crime infested, lack of education? It just, it's almost like you're being swindled. You got a black woman as your, oh God, my condolences to you guys out there, man. My condolences. Let's face this, man. Let's face this. A lot of you guys out there who are into this egalitarian movement, well, women are our equals. Do they treat you as an equal? Let a woman get one thing over you, man. You are not her equal. Let her say, well, I make all the bills, I pay all the money. You could literally lose your job and she will throw in that she pays the bills in your face. Ask me how I know. I had a best friend whose ex-wife did that to him, and that was the start of their divorce. See, feminine leadership is very selfish. They're very conniving. Do we have some that actually are the exceptions to the rule? Yes, but they're so much in the minute. Even she who we shall not name, who's a sergeant, nobody in the entire district likes her. She tried to call EOC against her lieutenant. She literally blackballed herself from going up any higher. And guess what happened? That lieutenant became a captain. And trust me, people don't forget. Maya Angelou said it best. People may not ever always remember what you buy them, what you say to them, what you do for them, but everyone always remember how you made them feel. And the words from her former best friend is that she's a total insufferable bitch. See, a lot of this black female leadership, they become tyrants. And then they make enemies out of everyone. There should be no fucking reason the people in your squad who depends upon your so-called leadership should be afraid to talk to you about a goddamn report. I haven't talked to the bitch in so long because I'd have cussed her out. And especially if you have a black woman as a leader or as a supervisor, she's going to throw that shit, especially against black men. And for policing, they're trying to get 70 to 30. 30% of your law enforcement, they're trying to get is female, which I think is the most stupid and irresponsible move you can make. You're going to put a bunch of women who really don't qualify in a position where life and death matters. But because we want to be in this, girls can do it too, bullshit, you're risking lives, not just officer lives, not just soldiers' lives, but lives of people you sworn to protect. A lot of you probably looking at me, well, officer, what's wrong? Hey, Colonel, that's messed up. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Let's look at this, right? You get in a relationship with a woman who's a single mother. Is she really going to bow down to your leadership? Is she really going to be submissive? Is she going to really listen? Especially if she had so many damn years. So many damn years of doing it by herself. She's drank from the ideology of single motherism. And you're going to tell me that female leadership, Ryan Coogler, they're strong and they're very complex? No. No. When you have leadership, you're not looking for complexity. Because complexity during leadership usually spells confusion. I wish a lot of these fucking Hollywood types stopped simping. But I would also say to Ryan Coogler again, it wasn't a black man that called the police and put your life in jeopardy. Oh, you know it, Rob. If she's a single mother Leo, which means law enforcement officer, I've never seen anything more parasitic than a single mother law enforcement officer. Second, I mean, really. Very parasitic. And don't let her look like something, because all she's out there to do is use and abuse. If she's a 7-0, she's not only making her rounds on the carousel, she's getting anything and everything she wants. You're not a man in her eyes. You're just a means. She's going to use you like a carpenter uses a tool. But I already know there's going to be people that says, oh, you're so sexist. Prove me wrong. What organization is really successful with female leadership in it? And if you do have one, 9 times out of 10, it's because there's several men that's supporting her ass. Several men taking the brunt of that shit. Any of our great breakthroughs are not usually by women. You know why? They don't have that part of their brain where, oh, I'm going to do this for the best of my community, my nation, or the planet. Namer said, Charles Faulkner Jr., no woman wants her equal. It doesn't exist. Women see men as either above them, which is a select few, or beneath them, which is the vast majority. And I'm going to speak to that, man. A lot of these women rank themselves a lot higher than what the fuck they really are. And they go up to compete against the world champion and get their asses handed to them because they never had any tune-ups. They never had anybody to keep them in check and say, look, this is where you are. This is where you rank. Boom. Kevin Samuels, anyone? You have Vivica A. Fox looking like she's chewing on a whole pack of gum, or her plastic surgery big face ass, trying to make light of a man passing. But this is the type of respect, the type of so-called leadership you get. If this is what you get, then you keep it. This is disgusting. Johnny Mac, Toya. I can tell you, every time we had female mayors, we had 3 in a row, and all 3 left in disgrace. Every time you have a female supervisor, it's not conducive to teamwork. I remember she who will not be named trying to tell me about friends. And even at the time, I was friends with my friends for like what, 20 years at that time. I told her to her face, you can't tell me shit about being friends. And what happens? Her and the same friends, they split. Some of those friends never even talk to each other anymore. You can't tell me something about friendship. Y'all never went through shit. And one thing I learned about women, as soon as you see difficulties, guess what? They get going. And guess who's still around? My friends and myself. People think I'm real sexist and messed up when I say an overwhelming majority of women have no integrity. It's so sad that you don't even have integrity for your damn selves, nor your closest friends. Even if you try to marry a chick, there's so many women who are married women who are still looking for a better, higher man. They can't be content because that's outside the lexicon when it comes to the vocabulary of women. They can't be grateful because they're all raised to be spoiled ass brats. And then when you get them an assignment, there's always an excuse. There's always a scapegoat to blame. Stacey Abrams, anybody? It's black men's fault. Maybe, just maybe, Miss Abrams, you ran a sucky ass political platform that did not engage anybody with your generic ass. You had no real stands. The only thing you wanted was the governorship just to prove that black women could do it. You weren't going to do anything profound. If anything, you probably would have sank the entire state of Georgia because you come off very indecisive. But I digress. But you're teaching young kids, and even a couple of decades ago, you're teaching that boys and girls are equal. If that was true, then a lot of single mothers would be producing on a mass scale a bunch of scholars, a bunch of overachievers. But what do we get when we have a bunch of single mothers? Since they're in leadership positions, we get failure. We get death. We get imprisonment. Oh, you think I'm wrong? Go check your stats. Go check this shit out. Go check it out. This is the reason why the black community's in the shit show that it's been. And I do have to blame black men at some point of believing them. This is your fault. You should never give the nuclear football codes to a wayward, selfish ass, emotional child. But when did we really have that type of power? Because in order to be in charge and have power, you have the ability to reward and punish. That is the true definition of leadership and authority. Do you have the ability to punish and reward? Have you noticed? Anytime you want to give something to black boys, here comes the black feminists. But these are the same bitches that don't even understand their own literature and wonder why they can't find a man on their level. Because every program that's trying to bring up a black boy into being a productive black man, you defecate on it because of your selfish ass nature. And I'm going to say this officially throughout the Manosphere halls. Black men, you don't owe black women shit. Men, period, don't owe women, period, shit. If you don't like my protection and the first rule of protection is obedience, then you get my indifference and my distance. Especially since you offer no assistance. And all I'm going to give you is my resistance. There's no reason, no good reason why you should not be content with a man who's making it. You should be appreciative Your man literally took you from the cuffs of the slave quarters to the White House. Tell me what other man in the history of this planet has ever accomplished that feat? But you listen to all these so-called female leaders, black men have never done shit. "85% of your inventions come from the hands of a black man at some time period. Even to this day. But no, you can't get past your programming, your indoctrination, your ideology, because once you burn that chip up, you're going to feel lost in the sauce. And that chip usually has about a 40 to 45-year life expectancy. And then guess what? It's too late. It's too late. You should have appreciated that man when he was still cheap to get. The price went up. Remember the old adage, yesterday's price is damn sure not today's price. I do not believe women who say they want leaders when I judge them by the men they procreate with. You didn't want a leader. You wanted a man you could control. You wanted an ATM with a dick. I never saw a group of liars in my life that tells me we respect black male leadership. No, you only respect it when it's something that you are going to benefit from. If a black male tells a black woman no, that's the real her. I've tested so many chicks I've dated with that. And I said the word no, and I seen their disposition change immediately. It was instantaneous. I remember the chick Janelle, fine as fuck. As soon as I told her no, even in a joking way, her disposition towards me changed. What makes it frightening is that a lot of these chicks say they're on your team, but will fuck you over just for nickels and dimes. You don't have to wait for somebody to betray you for 30 pieces of silver. A lot of these women out here would say less and do it for less. You give them 30 pieces of copper, they'll do it. There is no reason you're going to tell me you respect black male leadership and you're dating men who can't even write resumes on their own, who don't know how to get dress clothes on their own, who don't have any capabilities, who can't change a tire. Why are you giving a child to a man that you physically saw doesn't take care of his first children? You know what's fundamentally disturbing about female leadership is that they lack a key principle called foresight. A lot of so-called female leaders can't see past their arms. And I hope Stacey Abrams one day listen to this, because I'm going to tell you something that it's probably shocking to you, ma'am. Not only were you indecisive and you didn't have any real platforms, which is generic ass, but you had no foresight. You didn't see into the future very well. You ignored your biggest supporters, at least your second biggest, which are black men, and purposely did you defecate on them as soon as you had the chance to do it. Because everybody knows every great leader has certain qualities: foresight, responsibility, and accountability. But y'all don't hear me, though. Y'all don't hear me. Hit that cash app, man. You cannot be a great leader without being a great follower first. And then speaking of the Black community, how great are the followers of Black women? How great are Black women as followers? Excuse me. How great are they as followers? So you cannot, by definition, be a great leader. Because when something's asked of you, you get bitch moaning and complaining, usually. If it's not something that's easy, you're definitely going to get bitch moaning, complaining. And the girl said, I was recently trying to help a close female friend appreciate the importance of foresight. They don't. But I know I'm going to get a bunch of people to call me sexist. But here's the crazy part. Prove me wrong. If you got to go back to your database and tell me about women who did great for society, then that means your fucking answer is moot. If you really think that female leadership is on the up and up, and it's the most sophisticated and greatest and the latest, then tell me about single motherhood in America. Tell me how you're 5 times more likely to get your child abused. Tell me how. Tell me how that you're producing failures. I want you to tell me this. How do you get up and rank? A multiple test question and an oral board to see if you're either pretty or likable. You just say the right damn things. Remember, a lot of these promotional boards are not merit based. So you can be a lazy motherfucker, a hump, a drag on the department, and still get promoted highly. Remember, you're not getting the smartest and the brightest and the most daring. You're getting people who are good test takers. But yet, instead of being offended by what the hell I'm saying, why don't you do the research? Does anybody know who's the first pharaoh of Egypt? Nermer is the first pharaoh of Egypt. Do you know who's the last official pharaoh of Egypt? Cleopatra. Key, note the difference. See, female leaders tend to want men to do all the heavy labor, and they come around and they take the credit. Feminism, anybody? How many of these women want to go and be Green Berets, but they don't want to go into combat? They want to be Army Rangers, don't want to go to combat. They say they want to be Navy SEALs, don't want to go to combat. You're actually a liability. Until women actually honestly say, I'm a liability to this team and unit, but I can be great in other spaces within the unit. I even asked she who will not be named, who was an Army medic. She was a combat medic in Afghanistan. And she thought that she can hang with me on a tactical level. So I gave her just a very smidget of my tactical knowledge. And I told her, with your experience of being a medic, if we had to go into a building or go into a house for a raid, what position would you be in? She was like, I could go in first or I could go in second. I said, why the fuck would I allow my medic to go in first when we're going to need you to patch up whoever's getting shot? You're going to go in last if you go in at all. And it's not because you're a woman, it's because you have skills that are actually valuable to the whole fucking team. Everybody plays a role. That's another thing. Female leadership does not understand of utilizing your personnel where they fit best. They don't understand that everybody plays a role. There are some people, even in my command now, who I will look at them and say, hey, for Black Lion Security, I'm going to use you because you're the best talker. You're going to speak to the people. You're the best at medical skills, so you're going to be in the back. You're the best at actually, keeping people under wraps and keeping a low profile. So you're going to be my spy. You're the best at kicking ass, so you're going to be my enforcer. And this is a black woman, lovely black woman here, who agrees with me. The logic was low with that one. Toya, this is a chick who has 2 4-year degrees. And she's a combat medic. And now a sergeant. Because she's into this glory of, the Valkyrie glory, that whole, the mighty Thor shit, that woman's intuition, she didn't understand how it is to be a team member. Okay? She didn't understand how it is to be part of the team. And see, when women talk about combat roles, they've done studies that women do better as espionage, meaning spies, similar to like a James Bond. If I put Toya and Monique in nice little dresses and put them inside where the enemy is, and they look nice and they get flirty, guess what? Especially when liquor's in their system, they're going to tell them everything. Because a nigga can't hold water when they pillow talk. I'm sorry, fellas. It's true. Niggas can't hold water when they pillow talk or flirt. Number 2, women do well during investigations. It was a female who found out where Bin Laden was. Told you, shit. You had to have a female or child support, and they would have found his ass. And number 3, sniper, because women have arms. The evolutionary is built for carrying things. Guess what? They can hold that rifle position longer. Women are typically smaller and more agile and flexible, so they can hold the position longer. 2, they make a shorter heat index and sense. So, when some of our greatest snipers in the world have been women. One, I believe, is from Russia, and she was friends with Eleanor Roosevelt. But see, when you get into this feminist ideology, they're saying women should be in the front line with the men. But notice I gave you researched, logical answers. But yet, the women who actually are very faithful to my chats do not disagree. The BS that happens when it comes to female leadership, guess what happens? They bicker with each other. You ever notice you had an office full of females, they start to bicker, and usually they keep a man as either the manager, supervisor, or somewhere in there to keep the females from fucking ripping each other hair out? If I want to conduct business, I'll tell one of my female friends, yo, put your nice dress on. Go to the bank for me real quick. Go get this loan for me, sweetheart. I tell my friend right now in PG, and she works out and she bikes. She lifts weights and she bikes. So her body is tight and it's built like every black man loves it. She goes in there with that beautiful smile and that sunny disposition. Oh, we getting the money out there and we invested into the business. But see, it goes back to what I'm saying. A great leader had to be a great subordinate first. Men understand there may not be times where I can tell you off the break what I'm doing. It just needs to be done right there that minute. Men understand sacrifice. Okay? Men have to understand sacrifice every day of their damn lives. Women understand sacrifice until they give birth. They don't understand it until they have to give birth, a lot of them. You're right. And she was also friends with Eleanor Roosevelt. I mean, she was capping motherfuckers in that World War II. She was that Russian. She was the shit. She was capping. She had to learn how to hunt very early in her life, which her daddy taught her, and she became very proficient with that Mosin Nagant. See, the problem is this: male leadership is always going to give females purpose. I need somebody to put this in the chat for time immemorial. Men give females purpose, females give men inspiration. They talk about why aren't black men leaders? Give us something that we need to be inspired to be leaders. Give us something that we can be inspired by. You don't want us to tell you what to do because you know we're going to give you a purpose and hold you accountable to that mission. Because if you go and spend up the fucking church's money and we damn near about to get set out, there's going to be hell to pay. That's why a lot of these modern women don't want to hear the purpose men have set for them. Even if it's to their own benefit, they don't want to do it. And it's criminal. Downright criminal. It's really sad. Until the women in our community are ready to support, submit, and operate under black male leadership, you're going to see even worse numbers. You're going to see even worse. You're going to see black families decimated from homelessness. Black families decimated because of unemployment. Black families decimated because of lack of opportunity and education. There's a reason why I say men give women purpose and women give men inspiration. Until you're ready to use your true superpower, which is your femininity and inspiration, don't expect much. Don't expect much. You cannot make withdrawals from men who you never made deposits on while they were boys. You cannot. What's up, Kareem? Vendel, Prince? You cannot make them withdrawals from men who you never made deposits on when they were boys. It's impossible. If you've never put anything in the bank, don't expect shit in return. That's just common economics and finance. That's finance 101. So there's the two trend, and also salute Mr. Austin for Cash App support. Don't forget to hit the Cash App, people. The ultimate thing about being a leader is that a leader is always training his replacement, his or her replacement. The best female leaders I've ever seen were the ones who were trained by men. And they said, I am training my replacement. I am training somebody. When I go on vacation, I know they can handle it. A faulty leader is going to be upset and scared to put somebody in their charge while they're gone because they're afraid that somebody's going to take their place. You're supposed to be better. I'm supposed to leave this earth better than what the fuck I found it. Shout out to Kareem for the super sticker. Salute. And this goes to everybody who supported.
Now for a lesson. You may have heard these words before, but I'll teach you what they really mean. Go beyond! Plus!
Speaking of training your replacement, I want y'all to go, this is homework on behalf of y'all. Go look up the first 2 to 3 seasons of My Hero Academia and look at the relationship of All Might and Deku. He's literally training his replacement. He has total faith. Even when Deku fucks up, he corrects him, but he still has love for him. And that's what we're missing. We're missing being able to critique. And that's another thing female leadership hates, is being critiqued. When you're on the totem pole, your ass get critiqued. Sorry. Shout out to Indigo Flow for the Cash App. Sorry. When you, what's up, Free Zone, Samantha? Samantha Reed said, why everything falls on women as failures, and it's not the women who are the leaders. We're in a community raising the children of our community. Because you chose the role to be leaders. How many of you chose to be married before you carried? How many of you chose to be underneath a man's covenant and protection? Remember what I said about this, Samantha, and I want you to listen real well. The first rule of protection is obedience. Are women in our community obedient to the rules set to keep them safe? I'll let you answer that. Yes, everything is a failure, because guess what? When you say that I'm going to be a single mother, you automatically say I'm the leader. When you put no guarantees, no safety valves such as marriage in the equation, You said, I'm going to take full responsibility by myself. Samantha, I want you to hear this out again. Women pick fathers, men pick wives. You have many different ways of not getting pregnant. Just like a man, if he picks a bad wife, that's on him. If a woman picks a bad father, that's on her. Stop it. Stop it. Unless you want to come up on this panel, I got about an hour to kill. If you want to debate this, if you really want to debate this, I will give you the personal invitation to come up here. If you really want to debate this. Because when men take charge of something, this is something you never hear from women. It's my fault. It was on my charge. It was on my leave. It was on my watch. It is my fault. No. We don't have to agree to disagree because you were wrong. You don't hear women take accountability. You don't hear women who say when their sons end up in jail or dead, it was my fault. You usually say, well, his father wasn't in his life. When you take on the responsibilities of the leader, you get blamed. You share the glory and you take all the failure. See, this is the reason why you make bad leaders, and you just proved it there. You proved it, Samantha, without a shadow of doubt. Thank you. Everybody donate, because this is the perfect example of what I'm speaking of. She could not take responsibility, and she had to share it with everybody else. But men, when we fuck up, when the team fucks up, it's our fault. Don't blame the team, it's on me. Don't blame the team, it's on me. I am responsibility for the failure. When do you hear women say that, Samantha? I'll wait. You coming up here, Samantha? Come on, come up here. Let's have a little conversation. No. See, that's the problem. I'm going to ask you this question. Can men force women to have abortions, Samantha? No. I'm going to ask you just two questions. Can men force women to have abortions? And two, are you a black female? I'll wait for your answer. Hold on for a second, people. Okay, you're a black female, right? Black female. Let me see. Let me see. You're a black female. And let me ask you this question. Do black women take accountability when things are messed up in their community? Do they take accountability for the kids? Do they take accountability for not being married? Do they take accountability for things that happen? When do you hear the women of our community say, my bad? Do you hear that often? Yes, no, maybe so. So, it is very relevant. It's very relevant. Because if you're a black female, you know how the community works. You know how the community works. Are you married? Matter of fact, let's talk in real time because I hate the pausing. Let's talk in real time. Hit me up. Hit that link. Let's talk in real time. And what responsibility did I relieve? Because this is also another bad trait of a bad leader, is assuming. See, right there is a bad trait. I don't see how me being a black woman is relevant, and yes, I do. Do you take accountability for leaving your response? What responsibility did I ever leave? Click the link. I need to hear this. I don't need Scrapple. I don't need eggs. I come to take souls. I come to take souls, baby. Nah. You heard this, right? Matter of fact, I want a promissory note that you'll be back on 3 o'clock. Hit my email, and I will definitely send it to you. Hit my email, and I'll make sure I email it at 3 o'clock. No, you're divorced. Okay, we're gonna hold you there at 3 o'clock. Huh? It's amazing. Because here's the crazy part. You're assuming that I left any responsibilities of mine. And if you're talking about children, I only have one son and he lives with me permanently. So what responsibilities did I leave? I'm waiting on you, Samantha. See, these are the traits of being a bad leader, is that you can't take accountability, can't take criticism. You assume. It's just proven. Man, hit that Cash App, hit that Super Chat, man. See, we going back to old school manosphere. We ain't going back to this purple pill shit. We are not being purple pill. The one who are for me. I'm back. Sorry about that, folks. See, we're gonna go back to that old school manosphere where the men and women who want to listen and follow come on aboard. Those who don't, state your case. See, I really want to know, Samantha, where are you? Please come to your statement because every time this happens on my channel, when somebody wants to hide behind the chat and I post up that link, nobody comes. Hardly anybody comes. I've taken off more heads than the Highlander, okay? Gotta warn you about that. Gotta warn you about that. I'm in this motherfucker like Duncan McLeod of the goddamn Clan McLeod. If you really want to come back on 3, I will make sure I clear my schedule. No, no, no. No, no, no. See, here's another thing with Kenneth Porter. Black men have already fixed their mistakes. You can't help somebody that does not want your help. It's a comic book of Superman, I believe it's Action Comics, where he's chasing this black girl who's a member of the Royal Flush Gang. And when she finally gets caught, she looks Superman dead in the eye and tells him, just because you have the strength to move a planet does not mean you have the strength to move the people in it. So if we fix up all our problems by anybody's accounts, does that mean black women will start listening to their men and start acquiescing to their men, being submissive to their men? The answer is no. You're only going to have a very short list of black women who will do it. And this is another black female. Monique said, Samantha Reed, a lot of men do not leave their responsibility. The women do the leaving and breaking up the home. Court system does not favor fathers. Thank you, love. See, let's talk about how many of these women are giving these children to their fathers. Even Toya said, what's crazy is even in our blatant disobedience, black men are still leading. Okay, Kenneth, you want me to answer that? The reason why a lot of our boys can't read is because 80% of our boys are with the mothers, and the mothers do not push the boys when it comes to education. And every time the father tries to get his children, especially the boys, guess who's giving him the most issues? Kenneth? Come on up, Kenneth. Come on up. There's the link. I told you. I'm going back. I'm going back early 2.0 Manosphere. Come on, Kenneth. I'm going back early Manosphere. You got to prove those facts to me. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Come on up. Come on up. Especially when studies have been shown that black single mothers, even if their boys are doing well, they tend to look at their boys as underachievers. What's the boys' equivalent to black girl magic? Do black mothers teach their sons that you need to get an education so you don't have to depend on a woman? Or do they say that to their daughters? Come on up. The water's good. We going back once. We going back. We turning back the clock. Hold on. Hold on.
What?
You said you got a daughter. You've been married for 10 years. See, I already understand. A lot of you guys who only have daughters, y'all some of the biggest simps, man. Because you think your daughter can't do anything terrible. When you
I ain't seen a damn thing.
exactly. A lot of you niggas who only have daughters and no sons, you only see it one way. You don't think your daughter does shit wrong. Matter of fact, you believe your daughter does nothing wrong, especially how she treats her man. It's a lot different when you actually have sons and you know that that there's any woman who, especially if he has a child by that woman, she can dog walk his ass in the court. That's the reason why you act the way you do, because a lot of you goddamn men with just daughters are the biggest simps. You don't give a damn about the boys until you, especially even black mothers. You don't give a damn about black men until your son has to go to child support, the same way you did his father. But come on up. No, it's just the brothers who have sons are realistic. It's the fact that you're not realistic. And here's the one question: you're married, right? What's the one damn thing you could stop your wife from leaving you right now? What can you do? And you really think she's going to give you your daughter to raise? I beg to differ, but come on. Come on the panel. Uh,
The child has some power.
yeah. My father even said it. She gonna use the child as a damn pawn. She gonna use she gonna use the child as a pawn. See, a lot of married men are in the beck and call of their wife. Their wife's attitude change against them, boom, your life changes dramatically.
Whoa.
Dramatically. A lot of men have too much bravado to even admit this shit. See, it's one thing when you have one of each, but I notice a lot of men, when they have just daughters, they act very simpish towards their daughters. They don't realize that that daughter is being incentivized to drag that boy through hell. Oh yeah, that's what Charles Bentley said. My girl is way more devious than my boy. Uh-huh. You said yes, sir. I'm married. My wife won't leave me because I know how to be a leader and a man, and I have no problem helping her and serving her. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, like how much? What's the success rate for that bullshit? Oh my God, y'all comical. That's comical. There wouldn't even be a Black Manosphere if that shit was true. Oh my God, that yeah. I can't even respond to that with a dignified answer. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, you making me laugh. Oh my God. What's up, Sir Anthony? Thanks for the super chat. Oh my God, I got this for you, bro. Oh man, Kenneth, I got this for you. Oh Lord. Lord. Oh, that's for you. Is that your king? Lord. Oh shit, that made my day. You really think women in this day and age respect that bullshit you just talked? Oh my God. He said, my father was married to my mother for 60 years. He's the man I'm learning from. Yeah. Let me ask you this question. Your father is how old, and how old are you? I'm gonna ask you this question. Was your mother trained to be a wife? Modern women are not trained to be wives. They're damn near trained to be fucking men. And let me tell you this question. Do you have a high divorce rate through older couples? The answer is no. When it comes to people who are from 25 to 40, you have an extremely high divorce rate, especially 5 years is the average. Shout out to Sir Anthony. No, no, no. No, no, no. I'm going to tell you this. You still didn't answer my question. If your wife wants to divorce you, what can you do about it? Do you think that you being a man is going to prevent you from being divorced if she just wills it so? I'm only asking you, bro. Matter of fact, Kenneth Porter, how old are you? And how old's your dad? There's plenty of men who did their jobs, and guess what? Their wives left. So give me a big one. How old are you, and how old was your dad? No fault divorce. No fault marriage is divorce. It's like at will employment. You still haven't answered my question. How old are you, and how old's your dad? And what could you do if your wife wants to leave?
Nothing.
Come on up on the panel. There's the link. I'm not going to argue back in the chat. So, in other words, your father is a boomer. He's damn near seeping into silent generation territory. Okay? You are a millennial. The only reason we have a marriage rate in the black community is because of the baby boomers. Now, kiddos, the link is right here. You got 2 minutes to come up on. No, it's not an argument, it's a discussion. It's because what could you do if your wife wants to leave? If she wants to divorce you, what could you do? You got 2 minutes to answer that, man. And by the way, he was married at 25, not, not 15. Well, he's talking about his dad. So his dad must have been married at, well, that's not unheard of back then. You had people married at 15. Way back then, I mean, especially for men who have a life expectancy of like, what, 40 back then? Shit. You were going to get married early back then. I had a great aunt and uncle who were married around 16, 15, 16. So that's not unheard of for that generation. They're the only thing that keeps hope. I mean, you got to realize their values and their commitment to marriage is way different than the shit now. So we can't buy off of that. I notice you're not gonna answer my question, are you? You're not gonna answer my question, are you? Are you gonna answer the question, Kenneth? Thank you for answering the question. He said he's from the country, part of Georgia, and yes, if my wife decides to leave, nothing I can do. So stop thinking that you got the golden dick and the shit and that she's not gonna leave. I'm not saying I wish that on you, but remember the reality you live is that some people are on borrowed time when they get married. Some people don't even see the purpose of being married. I'm not saying I'm wishing craziness on your marriage, but you got to be a little bit realistic, man. Hmm. Oh, man, I'm gonna come back up here later. I'm going to check around 3 o'clock to see if she comes back, which would be funny. Thank you for listening, and I'm going to hit y'all back later.
Why you trying to leave him or something?
Nah.
Woo!